Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Friday, it's July 22nd of 2022, and it turns out today is a very special day, and I'll tell you why in just a minute, but I want you to know that we are going to talk about an update from yesterday, as well as we've got updates, yes, updates on the random COVID testing going on in Canada right now as you fly into Canada, and lots of other updates, and I have two really big questions for you at the end here that I hope that we can have a good discussion on, and it will help us all think of a lot of things. So first of all, today, July 22nd, is extra special because, as you know, we have been waiting for our sweet little granddaughter to arrive, and she came very, very early this morning. We don't know her name yet, but she is here, she is beautiful, and both mama and baby are doing well. So I was very excited to tell you that. Now, yesterday, you wouldn't believe what happened to me. So I did my video all about the first cruise line in the United States to do away with that pre-embarkation COVID testing requirement. I had Virgin written on my paper. I had thought about Virgin cruise lines. I had researched everything. Then I did my video and said Viking. Thank you to those of you who caught it. You mentioned it in the comments. I got a couple of messages. I apologize. Virgin Voyages is the first cruise line. They announced it yesterday. They are the very first cruise line to remove that pre-COVID testing on cruises setting sail from the United States. If you, like I said, they've got the Scarlet Lady. She is the one that is sailing here from the United States. And next Wednesday, July 27th, is the day that she will sail for the first time from the United States without having that pre-embarkation COVID testing. So I really apologize. Thank you all. I don't know what happened other than they both start with a V. But I do want to remind you that Viking, quite a bit ago, a few weeks ago now, announced that they were not going to have their pre-embarkation COVID testing requirement on all of their sailings except for their sailings from the United States. So it's going to be really interesting to see how soon they take that requirement away. And then just a reminder that P&O's Iona and Holland America's Rotterdam have been sailing for the month of July without any pre-embarkation COVID testing required. And we haven't heard of any big problems with that, and so I am really anxious to see how that result there affects what goes on here in the United States. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens, but I just wanted to bring you up to date on that, and I apologize that I said Viking instead of Virgin. It is Virgin Cruise Lines, so accept my apology on that. Yeah. And we've also got Azamara Cruise Lines who said that they are doing away with their pre-embarkation COVID testing. They don't sail out of the United States either, but it's a step towards that testing going away. Now, the next thing that I want to tell you about is the change that I have noticed with respect to the random COVID testing Canada is doing. Before I tell you that change, will you please subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell? The notification, that bell, is so useful because then if we go live, you will get a notification and can join us if you have time, or at least to let you know that there's another video to look for later if you want. And then also whenever we put up a video, you'll just get a little notification like an email, or if you turn notifications on your cell phone, you just get a little banner. That's what I do with people I follow, so that then I can just click on it and I join them. And so I really I would like to invite you to do that. And if you appreciate our updates, would you please give this video a thumbs up as well? So what's going on with that random COVID testing in Canada? So you might recall that last week I had said that we have that random COVID testing that's coming back. It came back on Tuesday, July 19th is the day they started doing it again. I think it was June 11th, if I remember correctly, that they had put a stop to that random COVID testing. So it's back. Well, I expressed my concern and just, you know, everybody be aware this could happen to you. And then over the weekend, someone messaged me and said, I came across this, and she had questions about, like, would they get you to the port if you missed your princess transfer because you were getting your COVID test? And I said, I think you're going to have to get which I am sure, you're going to have to get yourself to the port after that. But when I went and looked, so that made me read every single thing I could find. I read through all of their requirements and I took notes. So then some of you asked me, where did you find that? I can't find that, after I said that in my video on Monday, and then Tuesday, so many questions about it. So I started reading, researching everything. couldn't find it again. So as I was working on it again last night, I spent a lot of time on this, you guys, like hours. I noticed that those updates, those requirements had been updated on July 19th of 2022. So I believe they took out the part where it had said that if you are transiting to or from Alaska on a cruise ship, that you were exempt from that random COVID testing. They have that in another section where they talk about other things, but it is no longer in that section that talks about who is exempt from that random COVID testing. And so I am sorry to say, you might get randomly selected to be COVID tested. So just a quick reminder on how that works. They say that once you clear customs, which is when you land there in Canada, going through Vancouver, you know, everywhere you go that you're entering another country, you have to immediately go through that before you get your luggage. And so there in Vancouver, you just scan your passport, you answer some questions, it pulls up, it's attached to your passport. Once you've done the ArriveCan app, it can see that you've done the ArriveCan app, it's connected to your passport, it knows what you have answered and the information that you have already given. It asks you some health questions again, a few things like that, and then you're good to go. It prints out a little receipt, you go get your luggage, and on your way out of baggage claim, they collect that receipt from you. And so they say that within 15 minutes of going through customs, going through there, they will send you an email if you are notified that if you're selected, that you've got to be randomly tested. And then it goes through all of these directions. They'll tell you where to go get tested. It outlines what happens if you do test positive. If you test positive, you have to quarantine for 14 days, you guys. You have to do another test like 8 days into it. They say that you might be contacted, emailed, called, or visited by a Canadian official to check and make sure you're doing your COVID quarantine. So I just wanted to make you aware of that. I am really sorry. I don't know how effective. Never mind what I think. This is what the requirement is. And so if that's a deal breaker for you, and you are 30 days out from your cruise, like with Princess, if you sail by September 30th and you're 30 days out, you can cancel for any reason and get your cancellation fees back as future cruise credits. I'm really sorry, like that's the best I've got to offer. I don't know what else to tell you. I hope this goes smoothly for people. I would love to hear from some of you. If you have been randomly selected, I know it's early days of them putting this program back into place, but I would really like to hear from you. I know our Let's Go family member Shelly commented and said that some people are being selected that she has heard from to do that COVID testing. So if you have to do that, I would say go in the day before so that you've got time to do that COVID test. And they say that your quarantine day starts on the day that you test positive. The day that you enter Canada. If you test positive, then that's the day that your quarantine starts. And so I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and I am really sorry, but I was really glad that I figured out and saw that that had been updated on July 19th, because I've noticed that they've updated some other things as well, but it didn't have such a big impact on people who were coming in to go on a cruise. So it sounds like they're really tightening things down. In addition to that, if you, like Canada is really firm about you coming, that you're vaccinated when you come. If you are not vaccinated when you go to Canada, it's a whole nother set of restrictions. So keep that in mind as you are planning your travel. I know that some of you have commented and sent me emails hoping that that vaccination requirement by Canada is going to be gone by the fall. With how strict they are being with testing and everything else coming in, I don't think that requirement to be vaccinated to enter Canada without having to quarantine and test and all this stuff, I don't think that's going to go away by the fall. And I hope I'm wrong. But I'd like to know what you guys think about that. So that's everything on that. The next thing that I want to talk to you about here is our Let's Go family member Karen put in a comment, and I think it's valuable for all of us. She said apparently there is a limit to how much carry-on in your carry-on bag of like tubes, drugs, and bottles you can bring on international flights. She said that her bag got pulled and she had to throw away like half of it coming back from Canada. Now I a lot of you have traveled much more widely than I have. I would like to know what your experience with this has been. I've been to Europe clearly a lot, and I have never had a problem with that. I have even, like, between Gordon and I put all of our medicine in, and nobody has ever said a word to us about how many bottles we had. And I always have, like, you know, the quart-sized Ziploc full of makeup and the bottles and everything that goes with that. Nobody has ever said anything about that. So I would like to know if any of you have experienced this as well, or if it's just like that Canada is more particular when you're going through their security. That would really help all of us a lot, because I know we hate to check our prescription medicines, because what happens if your bag gets lost and there's so much medicine we can't go without. So I would really like to hear what everybody's experience has been with that, because that's huge. If it's just good, and it's good to know what countries do that and kind of what's going on with it. After I read Karen's requirement, I went and looked, and I can see that you should have like if you have tubes of medicine, I think those maybe need to go in a quart-sized Ziploc. But here's another interesting thing. When you read the airline's guidance, they say that they want, like, you know, all of your liquids, everything in a quart-sized Ziploc, but they don't say how many quart-sized Ziplocs you have to have. I have a friend that travels with 3 of them in her carry-on. Yeah, 3. Yeah, and she just puts them in the little bin, goes through security with them. Nobody ever says a word to her. 3 of the quart-sized Ziplocs full of various things and various liquids. And so there you go. Tell me what y'all think on that. We'd love to hear. Now, the next thing that's going on is the Coral Princess. So, you know, we are so thrilled, all of us, that the Coral Princess is sailing again down in Australia. Late last night, I got messages from 2 of our Let's Go family members. One of them is Noeline, and I hope I said her name right. She is on the Coral Princess, trying to come back into Brisbane, and the waves were so high, like 16 feet waves, that they had to stay out for another day because they were not able to come into port. And then I heard from our Let's Go family member Sue. She is down there. She was supposed to be embarking on the Coral Princess, but they are delayed a day, hoping that she can get back into port and everybody can, disembark, and then the new passengers can get on. So right before I did this, I checked. I don't have any more messages from anyone yet, and the news didn't have any updates yet to say if she was coming back into port yet. And so I'll be really excited to hear from all of you. If you have a minute, send us a message and let us know if you were able to get off the ship, on the ship, and what it was like with those high waves and just everything going on. We'd really like to hear from you. And I just wanted to let you all know, I did see a news report and out of Australia, and they were trying to turn it into like a thing more about COVID than high waves. So I wanted to make sure you understood it was just weather, and nobody's in charge of the weather that can fix that. So the next thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the Diamond Princess. A Let's Go family member sent me a message saying, hey, we are trying to look at a couple of cruises, and the one on September 1st shows is unavailable, a West Coast cruise, and the September 11th, like, you can only book interior and ocean views. Like, what's that? So I looked in Princess's booking system, and sure enough, on the September 11th cruise, which goes, it's a Baja Peninsula cruise, everything is waitlisted, balcony and up. You can still book an ocean view or an interior, but every other cabin type, balcony and above, is waitlisted. And then on that September 1st sailing, I looked, and it's still showing it there in the system, but every cabin is waitlisted. So has anybody heard anything else about the Diamond Princess? And I looked at some other cruises, and I don't know, maybe it's just terribly popular to sail on her right now. It is a treat that she is sailing off California. As I've mentioned before, usually she is in Asia, so it is an amazing experience, and I've had in the back of my mind I would like to try to catch one of those cruises, but I haven't figured out yet when we could do it, so I hadn't looked. So thanks, Dave, for bringing that up. And if any of you are booked on one of those cruises, we'd really like to hear about it. I think it's going to be amazing to sail on the Diamond Princess out of San Diego. So let me know if you've heard anything else about that. Now, the next update that I've got for you is Donna is on the Majestic Princess right now. They are going to be tomorrow Saturday, they'll be getting off the ship there in Whittier, but she wanted to give us a quick update. She said that the captain said that there are 2,002 guests on her right now. If you are not familiar with the Majestic Princess, she is full capacity at 3,660. So that's like, what, about 2/3 full? So that gives lots of wiggle room there. She said that masks are required, but not fully enforced. A number of people are not wearing their masks. Some items are grab and go in the buffet, but most of it is being served to you. And so the reason that I tell you that is it gives you a good idea. And keep in mind that the Majestic Princess, when she is getting up there to Whittier, she is running those north and southbound cruises between Whittier and Vancouver. And on those sailings, masks are required. They ask people to please wear those when they are not eating or drinking whenever they're indoors. And if they're outdoors in areas where they are in a big group and can't socially distance. And so that's why she is talking about them being required. Then this is just random. And tonight, by the way, in our live, I am going to go through a lot of random things. I get a lot of random questions that I don't really know if I should be covering in a video. So tonight in our live, which is going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern, I'm just going to go through a whole bunch of questions that I seem to get kind of often, or even one. And so bring your questions and I'll go through a bunch and try to just help you with some things. But this I think is important. Shelly asked if we know if the cruise ships have Paxlovid on board. Not to my knowledge. I don't think that they do. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Paxlovid is it's the drug that I believe Pfizer made that really helps people who especially would be older or have more of a risk with getting having trouble with the symptoms with COVID. It helps lessen those symptoms and helps them get better quicker, whether or not they're vaccinated. And so, but I don't think that the cruise ships have that yet. If any of you know for sure, I would sure like to know. That would be great. And then finally, also Gordon and I are going to do a video together. We thought it would be kind of fun. Gordon knows so much about air tags and the tiles, and I can't remember what the Samsungs are called. And we have been getting so many emails and inquiries about that we're going to do a video all about that to help you navigate it a little bit and think about what might really work really good for you if you're deciding to put one of those in your luggage, or if you're trying to put it with something else you want to keep track of. So keep your eye out for that. And then, so here's my big question for everybody, and it really started over on our Let's Go Travel Tips Facebook group. So if you haven't joined us there, come over to Facebook, join us on Let's Go Travel Tips. You just request to be admitted, and Gordon lets you right into our group. But so many people share so many beautiful photos there, experiences, they ask questions, they get amazing answers, just so much there. So you're going to want to join us if you haven't. But yesterday someone asked this question, and it's made me really stop and think a lot because I hadn't thought about it as much as I clearly should have. So this kind of two-part. First of all, they asked the question, apparently they had a neighbor, if I understand correctly, who had been on a cruise and thought they had COVID, and they waited till they got home to be tested, and they did test positive. And so then this person writing this, the neighbor said to him, well, if you, basically, if you don't feel good, don't tell, and then that way you don't have to quarantine. So the person writing was like, what do you guys think about that? And so we've gotten so many thoughtful replies. And so I was wondering what you think. So here's what I kind of, here's the whole deal. So when you are on a cruise ship, if you feel ill, like what do you do about that? And it made me really stop and think about what I think. And so I'll tell you, just a few thoughts that I've had. So first of all, when I'm on a cruise ship, if I were so sick that I thought I was like sick, I would be tested and find out what was going on. When I am on a ship and if I wake up one morning and my nose is a little runny or my throat is a little scratchy, which is very common with me because I am very allergic to everything, I just think I have allergies, because that can even happen if I sit too close with a person with too much perfume or cologne on. Game over for me. I am like plugged up and coughing just like that. And so I don't always think that first. But if I were sick enough, that if I thought I was sick, then I would get tested. And so that's kind of where, that doesn't mean it's right or wrong though. Okay. It's there to me. I don't know if there really is a right or wrong to this question anymore, because things are changing so rapidly. So I would just like to know what you guys would think. I don't know if you've even thought about this before you go on a cruise. So there's that. And then along with this, so first of all, you know what, many, this is also like to me that goes with this. So there's a lot of people who are not vaccinated that are very hopeful that the vaccination requirement will go away. And I get that. If you don't want to be vaccinated or you cannot be vaccinated, I get why you would want that to go away. I think that based on what I hear, I don't think people are having a really hard time getting exemptions right now. The people that I know that have inquired about them have received them no problem. And for the most part, those were people that, for the most part, are people that can't be vaccinated, but there are a lot of people who don't want to be vaccinated that hope that goes away. So here's my question with that. If the cruise lines start making it so that that vaccination requirement goes away, do you think the quarantine requirement will go away? Because then we're going to have so much, well, I don't know, but just will that quarantine component go away? Because if you have way more COVID on the ship, then after a while you think it, you know, like that whole diminishing returns thing. So tell me what you guys think about all this. And I want everybody, like, you can't give a mean reply to somebody if they say something that you don't agree with. I just want us to all be very civil and very respectful of each other. And to be truthful, I think that you will be, because I know that you are an amazing Let's Go family, but I want to keep this a safe place for people to share what they think, to give like what thoughts have occurred to them. And I thought that discussing it a little bit might really help everybody have their opinions informed a little bit more and give us a lot more to think about. So put those comments below, and I'm really excited to hear what you think as well. So if you have any questions about anything that I've talked about here today, I would really appreciate it if you just put those in the comments below. You can always send me an email. I am really excited to talk to you this evening in our live. We're going to go over questions. We're going to go over some exciting travel options coming up that we're going to talk about our group cruises some more. We've got 2 planned, and we're going to talk about just some really cool travel options and cruises that I have noticed come up lately. So I'll just be talking to you all then. Once again, if you appreciate this, give us a thumbs up. I'll be talking to you all again later. I'll be talking to you all really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.